All right, Shalom. This is your brother Yonathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Alvarez is out of spirit, so on me to say this in an edifying way so that you guys can receive it in the spirit. Today, we're just going to talk about basically operating in a pious fashion, whether we're abased, meaning brought to a lower state, things are taken away, seemingly in a bad spot. You know the rite of passage, the typical rite of passage that we all have to go through. Or, operating when we're abound, when things are going well, when we seemingly have more, and how to operate with more. Okay? Because a lot of people, man, they have more, but they're not operating in an upright fashion. The scriptures say that, money can be a defense. That's because a righteous man has money and he knows how to deal with it and forward the mission or forward the will of Yahweh Shai with the more. Then you have people that are abased, and then they'll get out of pocket because they've been brought to a lower state. A lot like Job's wife. All right, in Job the 2nd chapter, when she said, "Curse God and die," and Job had to rebuke her and tell her, "Hey, you speak as one of the foolish women speaketh, shall receive good from the Lord and not evil." Okay, so let's go to Psalms 22, okay? Because when you're brought to a lower state, you got to remember the power that we serve, okay? Psalms 22, I'll start at verse 1, and we're going to read it in the GNT. All right, it reads, my God, why have you abandoned me? Question mark. I have cried desperately for help, but still it does not come. During the day I call to you, my God, but you do not answer. I call at night, but get no rest. But you are enthroned. This is the point here, going down, 3 and on down. But you are enthroned as the Holy One, the one whom Israel praises. Our ancestors put their trust in you. They trusted you, and you saved them. They called to you and escaped from danger. Now, those first couple verses, you got somebody thinking as a carnal man. The help didn't come on your timing. All right? But when that's what Jake thinks. They think they get in the jam. It's supposed to happen on their time. And when it don't come, Jake will turn and try to figure out other shit. When sometimes you just need to be still and trust in the Lord. And it's going to be a lot of that in the times to come. During Jacob's trouble, it's going to be a lot of being still and trusting on the Lord. It's going to be a lot of it. So right now is our opportunity when we're brought to lower states and when we go through particular things to exercise that spiritual muscle. Okay? Now I want to get another precept that comes to mind. And I think it's Romans. It's Romans 15 and verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime, okay, were written for our learning, for our instruction." When you look at that word learning, one of the words that have come up in the definition is instruction. That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right, so you look at the examples of our forefathers. A lot of times the deliverance didn't come in their timing. Look at Joseph. When he was in the pit, when his brothers put him in that pit off the rip, I'm pretty sure he was expecting the Lord to get him out of the situation right then. When he was being carried off into Egypt to be sold as a slave, pretty sure he was expecting, okay, maybe I might get intercepted by my brothers. The Lord will figure something out. Didn't come. Slaving away in Egypt. That was over years. You know what I mean? That wasn't just like a couple days or a couple weeks. Years. And the Lord, he showed him a little blessing. Okay, he put him under the right man. It's okay. I'm not doing so bad here. I'm all right. Then was brought to a lower state again when his master's wife tried to come on to him, cast into prison. The Lord dealt with him then, was showing him dreams, able to, interpret other people's dreams. Word got out about the Lord dealing with him. Lifted back up. You understand? So it's not always going to happen on our timing. We're worms in the sight of the Lord, man. So a lot of times our comprehension of how things should be is so low level. The Lord's ways are higher than our ways. Right? It says that in Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 55? Let me get it. Oh man. Yeah, Isaiah 55, I started verse 8. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Okay, so the way the Lord operates is far above what we could comprehend. That's where we gotta trust. The same way, you have little children, you have babies. They may want to do particular things. They may want to, go outside and play at 1 in the morning. It's like, no, dude, it's not safe for us to even be out here during this time. There's certain things that they don't even understand or could comprehend at the time. You understand? So they just got to trust their parents. We have to trust our Father. You see? So, you too, you got to understand, even the discipline that comes with the Lord. Us being tried, like it says in Sirach 2, 1, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation." Even the discipline that we get is for our long-term benefit. And Jake is a very foreign concept to our people of, long-term gratification. They understand short-term gratification, instant gratification, doing something and getting rewarded for right then. But it's not really taught, especially in our community, and that's been under the curses, long-term, gratification. You don't see a lot of Jake who are disciplined in anything and follow it through over years to get long-term benefits. You understand? So especially in this walk, especially when it comes to something spiritual like this, Jake will, do it off sometimes in carnal things, but not when it comes to spiritual matters. Okay, so let's go to Psalms, back to Psalms 22 here. We'll pick back up in verse 3, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna switch it back over to the KJV. So like, you bear with me while I pull it up. Psalms 22 in verse 3. It says, "But thou art the Holy One, O thou that inhabitest." Okay, hold on. Alright, Salakia. Yeah, Psalms 22 and verse 3. It says, "But thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. Our fathers trusted in thee. They trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cried unto thee, and were delivered. They trusted in thee, and were not confounded." And this sounds a lot like when I go to one of my favorite precepts. I go to 1 Maccabees 2, and I'll start at about verse 60 here. This sentiment is always reiterated to us throughout the volume of the book. And this is what the Lord is looking for, faith. You see? 1 Maccabees 2, let's go jump down. Because from 50 on down, it gives, I'll read 50 on down a little bit, and then I'll jump down to 60. It says, 1 Maccabees 2 and 50, "Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenants of your fathers." Okay, so this is what our life belongs to, not this world. Understand? The Lord might throw you a bone and allow you to do particular things you enjoy here on this side, but it amounts to nothing at the end of the day. Okay? What's really important is that you forward the will of the Father, that you're usefulness to Yahweh Shem. You're useful to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's what gives you value. You understand? So 1 Maccabees 2 and 50, "Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name." Verse 52, "Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation during his time of testing?" Right? "And it was imputed unto him from righteousness." He was willing to do sacrifice, Isaac. The Lord didn't have him follow through with it, of course, but it was a testing of his faith. But when you read about it, it's written that Abraham believed that the Lord would raise Isaac back up, even if he had him do that act, because the promise was that the blessing would come through Isaac. Okay. Verse 53, Joseph, we mentioned Joseph. "Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt." He never deterred from leaning on the Lord or looking to his power for help. He never deterred or started to doubt the Most High. All right, let's jump down. 61. It says, and thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. So we can't lose. Okay? Whoever gives in to fear and loses hope, that's who loses. Okay? Verse 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, because the man of perdition is getting ready to, he's getting ready to come down upon us, man. And you're going to have to be in the spirit to, not be looking with the eyes in your face, but be looking with your spiritual eye and understand that this man can do nothing unless the Lord gives him jurisdiction to, and that death isn't final, it's not losing. And you understand how life and death works according to the scriptures. When you understand these concepts, you're going to be able to move the way the Lord's going to require for you to move during that day. Okay? Us moving on faith is going to be an opportunity for the Lord's name to be magnified, for him to be glorified. But you can't be a vessel used to glorify the Lord if you're moving in fear or in doubt or impatience. You see? Verse 62, fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. We know what his end is going to be. We know what the adversary's end is going to be. Okay? Nothingness, defenselessness. When the scriptures use the term a worm, okay, and that's used in Psalms 22, when we go back to it, a worm can't defend itself, It's a lowly creature. Verse 63, today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he has returned unto his dust, and his thought is come to nothing. Now let's go back to Psalms 22 here, and we'll pick back up at verse 6. All right, it says, but I am a worm, and no man, and the scriptures compares the nation of Israel, especially in this time, to a worm, and we're defenseless. Okay, carnally speaking, we don't have a government, we don't have an army, we don't have a land, we don't have infrastructure, agriculture that we could depend on, where we could be self-sufficient. We're defenseless as a people. Okay, and it compares us to a worm. And Isaiah 41:14, let's read it. It says, fear not, thou worm Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. It's talking about the Israelites. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So boom. Now let's go back to Psalms 22:6. It says, but I am a worm and no man, a reproach of men and despised of the people. Everywhere we go, people look at the Israelites, the so-called black, Latino, Native American man, as the lowest man on the earth. Although we're the strongest, the smartest, the best looking, people look at us like, oh, these low-level people. We're made stereotypes, proverbs, and bywords. We're like a caricature. We're like a TV character. People see us. But that's all getting ready to come to a halt. All right, now we go to verse 7. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip and shake the head, saying, He trusted on the Lord that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him. But thou art that he, Salakia. But thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breast. So even the Lord is always there watching over us, especially his elect. Okay, even from a baby, you see a lot of things that happen to small children. Children get killed. 1 million children here in Babylon alone get trafficked off, go missing. But you here watching this video, man, that the Lord kept you from that judgment. There's a lot of things that the Lord keeps us from that we don't even consider. All right, continuing on. Verse 10, I was cast upon thee from the womb. Thou art my God from my mother's belly. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. And the Lord wants us to understand there's nobody else that can deliver us out of the situations to come, out of our day-to-day situations, except for him. Man's goings are the Lord. The Lord orchestrates all the pieces going on in our lives. If anything's happening to you, if anything's given to you, the Lord had to commission it. So when you understand that, that allows you to perceive, all the instances that you go through in your day-to-day life, how people moving around you, how you're moving. it allows you to perceive it in a different fashion, and you realize, man, you gotta be in the spirit of prayer. That the Spirit's on you to operate uprightly. That the Spirit's on you to protect you. You know what I mean? That you finish your course. See, so just a quick lesson, man. I was reading Psalms 22 this morning, and I said, let me just do a little quick lesson on this. And I do lessons on this topic often. All the brothers we do. Operating in a pious fashion, whether you're based or abound. And a lot of people, when they read Philippians, the 4th chapter, they don't, in the world, they don't realize that's what it's actually talking about. It's not saying, I can do all things through the Lord that strengthens me. I can be president of the United States. It's not talking about that. It's talking about being a based or abound. So let's go get that really quick. We'll start at verse 11. Okay, and I want to see how it reads in the GNT. I always read it in the KJV. Let's see if it reads a little different. If there's a more expansion on GNT version, Good News translation. All right, so Philippians 4:13. Okay, it reads, 4:11, Slakia. It says, and I am not saying this because I feel neglected, for I have learned to be satisfied with what I have. I know what it is to be in need, and what it is to have more than enough. Okay, whether you're abased, to be in need, or have more than enough, abound. Okay, that's what it says in the KJV. All right. What it is to have more than enough. I have learned this secret so that anywhere, at any time, I am content, whether I am full or hungry, whether I have too much or too little. I have the strength to face all conditions by the power of Yahushua Mashiach gives me. So that's what it's going into, man. And that's the key to thriving in this walk of ours. All right, so Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, of course, to you sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing and election be upon your house. Shalom.